Back at his now debunked sanctuary, Requiem had assembled his thoughts. He had settled on the angry motion and clicked his watch to return to the alleyway. Storming into the marble courtyard to the sound of "O Fortuna," Requiem flung his arm towards the obelisk, making it soar towards the ivory tower. As he got closer, a platform appeared at the bottom with a groove trailing up its centre. Requiem strode purposely onto the platform and ascended with a look that could be read loud and clear: "Don't mess with me." Freya watched from her bench, knowing that there was nothing she could do for Requiem now. The next move was up to him. News travelled fast, it seemed. As she sat there, she was joined by Gio and then Urasil, both anxious about what was happening in the ivory tower. Requiem got off of the platform and stepped onto a water-filled courtyard. His rage fed the soundtrack, and his powerful voice caused the once tranquil blue water to shiver. Large granite cubes sat jutting out of the water, but were too far apart to provide a passage across the quivering water. He didn't care. A little water was not going to stop him, and Requiem stepped forwards. As he did so, the water level dropped to reveal a grey stone path linking the cubes. He followed and found that it led to a line of stone cubes increasing in height, one after the other, making a staircase, which he duly ascended. The cube stairway finished abruptly, and Requiem found himself high in the air and deep into the water courtyard with apparently nowhere to go. Just as he decided to turn back, the cubes behind him descended, leaving him aloft on a solitary square stone pillar in the middle of the water. Cutting his soundtrack, now knowing that he had the council's attention, Requiem looked down at the water below. He could see energy signals forming around the outline of square shapes. Suddenly, these squares shot out of the water and encased him. The stone cubes from the watery courtyard had formed a vast, spherical room, the inside of which was now brilliant white, with Requiem standing on a grey pillar at its centre. 4 cubes descended from the ceiling and hovered in front of him, upon which Volt, Gembu, Erebus and Akuma appeared. "Ah, Requiem, have you come to report?" asked Erebus with a wry smile. "Dispense with the pleasantries," replied Requiem venomously. "What has happened to my sanctuary?" Erebus peered at Akuma from beneath his spectacles. "What are you looking at me like that for?" Akuma boomed defiantly to the other leaders. "He has no need for a sanctuary anymore. His power has transcended beyond that stage. Do any of us have such a thing?" It had never occurred to Requiem that the leaders of the 4 gates would not each have a sanctuary, and he broke the uncomfortable stalemate. "If you don't have sanctuaries, what do you have?" Gembu tried to defuse the situation. "It is not that we don't have our own personal space, we do. It's just that the sanctuaries most people have are provided for by the 4 gates. They take up energy and room. So to ensure that we can give new people this much-needed space, when some of us reach a certain level of ability, our sanctuary is taken away, and we're expected to generate our own." "You see, my boy," bellowed Akuma defiantly, "you're powerful. You've joined the elite. This is a time to celebrate." Bending towards Requiem and focusing his sharp oval eyes on him, Akuma rumbled darkly, "Speak to me later and I will help you realize your potential." Akuma peered deeply into Requiem's eyes, piercing his soul. It made him feel uncomfortable. He wasn't sure if he wanted Akuma to help him develop his power. However, this in itself made Requiem feel uneasy as Southgate dwellers stuck together, and what he was feeling was tantamount to betrayal. Erebus coughed. "Enough of that for now. Suffice it to say that you can make a new sanctuary whenever you like. What of Talis? Do you have anything to report?" "I shall report when I have the full facts. I would ask help of the leaders of the 4 gates at present." "Yes?" asked Volt suspiciously. "What do you want?" Unflustered, Requiem continued. "What do you know of inspiration? I'm waiting for it, you see, and without it I don't think I can understand what is going on." "So you want us to inspire you, is that it?" Volt replied cuttingly. "I always find stepped in Genbu, who could see that Requiem was not impressed with Volt's dismissiveness. That the religious quarter is the best place to find inspiration. Yes. Have you been, Requiem? Asked Erebus. No. Then I suggest you go and come back once you feel you have all the answers, finished Volt abruptly. That is a good idea, Requiem, added Akuma. Be sure to show our satellite nation that the people of Southgate have no fear of their beliefs and have every right to walk amongst them. Looking around at the other leaders, Erebus swiftly ended the meeting before the powder keg of tempers exploded. If we are all in agreement, this meeting is adjourned. At Erebus's declaration, the leaders vanished and their cubes ascended. Without warning, the spherical chamber fell apart and giant cubes tumbled all around Requiem. Backflipping off his pillar, he fell elegantly head over heel until he landed on the marble courtyard in front of his friends. So, how'd it go? Asked Gio in a nonchalant manner. Never mind that. I think I know where we need to go next, added Urasil eagerly. The religious quarter, interjected Requiem. Urasil's wagging finger dropped along with his face. Yes, how did you know? Genbu, Volt, Erebus, even Akuma, they all think it would be a good place to find inspiration. What kind of inspiration, however, remains to be seen. Freya bounced off the bench. Great, let's get going then, she said cheerily, pleased with both her meeting with Volt and at having Requiem back. I can't take the monolith, as I've never been there before. Anyone else know how to get there? Urasil blew a sigh of relief and wiped his brow. Follow me, said Gio. I visit a Buddhist temple or two now and again. We can take the northeast alleyway. Without further ado, they formed a line behind Gio and made their way to the religious quarter. Back in the round room, Volt approached Akuma. Why did you erase Requiem's sanctuary? He hasn't gone yet. Turning with a sinister glare to face Volt, Akuma replied, Well, it's not like he's going to be part of the Four Gates for much longer. He'll either leave or die trying. Either way, he doesn't need his sanctuary anymore. Anyway, Genbu's right. If he makes it through the fifth gate, he'll be able to make his own sanctuary. So, you're resigned to Requiem's fate, are you, Akuma? Asked Erebus, who was also in the room. He did not turn to face the squabbling pair and instead continued to watch the projection. With mock sincerity, Akuma replied, Although it pains me to lose one of my best, the Council did deem this action necessary, and who am I to stand against the Council? Akuma flicked his cloak at Volt. Scintillating though this conversation is, he snarled, I must be leaving. Akuma strode confidently out of the round room, after which Volt slammed his fist into a heavy oak table, making it crack. I tire of him toying with us, he raged. Appearing from the shadow of a pillar, Genbu tried to get Volt to see reason. We have to remain calm in order to see clearly. The clouds of rage only harm us. Added Erebus, We knew the risks when we agreed to send Requiem on this journey. Akuma is simply playing his hand in our shared, though opposing, agenda. Volt dismissed their prior actions. We may have just handed Akuma the opportunity he needed. With his sanctuary gone, Requiem has less reason to protect the Four Gates, and feels more anger towards us. Akuma's attack is looking increasingly difficult to repel. Genbu was keen to calm Volt. We don't know that Akuma is planning to attack, unless your watchers have told you differently, Volt. Volt was efficient with his words, as he was with his leadership. We don't need my watchers to see that Akuma is as devious as he is deadly. We all know he meets with Florin and Entropy. A Darkstalker hasn't attacked in decades, and now they attacked one of our strongest in a public place, and the guild holds another hostage. We've all seen it in this very room. Requiem's journey is coming to an end, and Akuma will strike. Let us not forget one valuable thing, my friends, said Erebus calmly as he walked towards Genbu and Volt. It is not unheard of for someone to return from the fifth gate, now is it? Let us leave our hopes with our people below. If our worst fears are realised, the cavalry won't be far behind. We should at least be ready, stated Volt. We can't be sure Requiem will live long enough to make it through the 5th gate, let alone survive within it.
Indeed, I fear you are right, Volt. I will muster North Gate.
Thank you, Genbu, said Volt, pleased to see some action.
Erebus echoed his fellow leader's sentiments. If Genbu is preparing for war, we cannot take this action lightly. It is not like North Gate to make a rash move. I will ready West Gate. I'm sure you have already begun making preparations in East Gate, Volt. So, the 3 of our gates versus the South, the Black Guild and the Darkstalkers. It'll certainly be eventful, he said cheerily. With that last sobering thought, the 3 leaders took their leave and secretly began to prepare for the worst.